parodies for you guys. I'd like to do my Katy Perry parody for you of her big hit, Roar. Now this is Katy Perry if she had sleep apnea and an unsupportive boyfriend. Okay, sleep apnea and an unsupportive boyfriend. I used to pump my nose and hold my breath, afraid I'd wake you up and you'd get pissed. So I'd lay awake silently while you'd sleep so peacefully. I guess that I forgot I had a choice. I let you push me past the breaking point, till it finally dawned on me, if you want to have sex with me. Well, you had me down, but you can kiss my ass, cause I've had enough, I'm gonna get some rest. You hear my voice, you hear that sound, like thunder gonna shake the ground. Cause I got the eye of the tiger, and bullshit is over, cause I'm stealing the cover. You're gonna hear me snore. I'm the lion, I'm gonna sleep like a champion, and I better not hear no more tension. If you want any action, then you're gonna hear me snore. Do I seem tall to you guys?
Yeah.
Swear to God, if I hear one more person ask me if I play basketball, I'm gonna fucking scream. Alright, who's gonna do it?
You play basketball?
No, do you play miniature golf? I saw the little putter and I just assumed. Oh look, now it's a 3-wood. I like being tall, I really do. I just get tired of people coming up to me on the street going, "Yo, Weird Al Yankovic, we love your music." It's not that funny, sir. Hey there, welcome to the program. I'm Connie Bryan and you're watching The Connie Bryan Show. We have got a great program for you tonight. Coming up a little later in the show, you don't want to miss it. Local comedian here in Sacramento, Christian Amaral, will be joining me right here in the studio. First of all, though, I want to get the show started by welcoming all of our viewers in our respective viewing areas. So first and foremost, of course, we emanate from Sacramento, so I want to welcome all of our Sacramento viewers and our Davis viewers right next door in our sister town of Davis, California. Welcome to all of you. Also, we want to welcome our Santa Barbara viewers and Pasadena viewers. Our hearts, of course, going out to you in Santa Barbara and Montecito after those horrible tragedies with the fires and the mudslides. So we're trying to send you our healing thoughts every day. We're so sorry about that. But also want to welcome our Pasadena viewers down in Southern California. And outside of California, we've grown a bit. I want to welcome our Washington, D.C. viewers. And also in Denver Open Media, I want to welcome you, our Denver viewers, Denver, Colorado. And last but not least, our newest acquisition, our viewing market in Portland, Oregon. So welcome to our Portland viewers. Now, this is the part of the program that I'd like to catch you guys up on some of the news stories that I've been keeping up with out of the newspaper. We call it Fun with the Newspaper. I'm sure there may be some younger viewers in the audience wondering, what, maybe you're even thinking, what, a newspaper? What's that? Yeah, look, some of us older folks, a little older than you, we kind of like to hold on to websites. We kind of like to, we're more tactile, we like to carry websites around with us. We feel like it makes us look smarter. You ever notice if somebody's carrying a newspaper, how intelligent they look, like they're really informed? So think of it that way, why I like to read the newspaper. Anyway, it gives me great opportunity to put the articles on some backing for you and showcase them, and we can have some fun with it. Check out this first story by Cynthia Hubert of the Sacramento Bee. Nearly 3 weeks after a controversial homeless shelter opened in North Sacramento, some say the new triage facility has done little to reduce homelessness. The story goes on to quote one local citizen saying, "I think it's a sham." She's bitching that she can still see homeless people camping by the American River. Of course you can still see homeless people down by the American River. I mean, from the last census count, lady, there are over 2,000 homeless people in Sacramento. 2,000, and you people bitch and moan when they open up a shelter with 100 beds? You want to complain that you still see homeless people? Are you kidding me? Now listen to this part of the story if you want something to be really angry about. It says the winter shelter admits people via navigators. City navigators, whose job it is to contact homeless people in the field, priority given to people coming in from North Sacramento. I don't know why they need to make that a priority. If someone comes in from South Sacramento, they need shelter from the cold too. It says here, the shelter has turned down people who walk in asking for a bed, which has left desperate people out in the cold. This reminds me of the Seinfeld episode where Jerry, remember this one where Jerry rents a car, shows up and the rental car agency tells him they see his reservation in the computer, but they're sorry to say they ran out of cars. Jerry blows a gasket, but he explains to them, look, you don't seem to understand the definition, the concept of the reservation. Anyone can just take the reservation. It's really the holding of the reservation that's the most important part. Well, it seems like we have a similar situation here. The city of Sacramento clearly doesn't seem to grasp the definition of the words homeless shelter. I mean, anyone can call it a homeless shelter, but it's actually the sheltering of the homeless that are asking to be brought in out of the cold that's the most important part. So, lady who's bitching that you still see homeless people down by the river, you want to be angry about something, be angry where it really counts. With shivering homeless individuals regularly now being turned away, according to this story, simply because they didn't have a referral, they didn't have a reservation from an official city homeless navigator. Gotta be freaking kidding me. Alright, take a look at this story here by Marcia Dunn of the Associated Press out of Cape Canaveral. 8th planet found near distant star. This is some pretty cool stuff. It says here, a record-tying 8th planet has been found in a faraway solar system matching our own in numbers, as we have 8 planets in our solar system. But even more amazing, machines and not humans made the discovery. NASA joined with Google recently to announce the new finding. The story goes on to address the obvious concerns of people who have astronomy degrees when they heard the news about this robot telescope's discovery. Their concerns being, of course, that they're going to be out of a career. Google said neither they nor NASA expect to put astronomers out of business. They said, our heart goes out to those of you who, felt you needed to get your degree in astronomy. We understand a lot of them are driving a lot for Lyft and Uber now, so we want to assure them that our Google robot telescope will not be putting them out of business. Our Google self-driving cars likely will, but no worries about the robot telescope. Alright, take a look at this story here from the Associated Press entitled, Defrauded Students May Not Get Full Relief. Students who were defrauded by the for-profit Corinthian colleges. Remember that back in the news a while back when Corinthian colleges were convicted of defrauding students? Well, it says here, they may not get their loans forgiven entirely. Would you guys like to take a wild guess who's behind this? I mean, if you'll recall, under President Obama, tens of thousands of students who were deceived and defrauded by Corinthian College had their outstanding loans canceled in full, right? Well, let's see, who in the world would possibly want to go and change that policy in a way that would seek to help the defrauding college? Let's see, wasn't the current occupant of the White House widely known before he was elected for having defrauded hundreds of contractors over the years, refusing to pay them for work they did for him, forcing them to sue him and so he could try to get a settlement for a much lower amount? Knowing this, white Republicans still voted for this con artist. If you guessed Donald Trump, is behind this, you are absolutely correct. The Trump administration is actually seeking to give Corinthian College a break at the expense of the students that were convicted of defrauding. It says here in this story, Education Secretary Betsy DeVos is putting a new process in place that will now look at the students' average income in order to determine which students need to get their loans fully forgiven or just need it partially forgiven because they make enough money. They're going to look at how much the students make in their income and see, no, do you really need to have your loan fully forgiven? This is just unbelievable. I mean, as Larry David would say, that's a pretty big douchebag move. And karma's a bitch, Trump. It really is. Because before you know it, along's going to come Special Prosecutor Mueller, and he's going to use the same exact approach with you when you become our nation's first indicted sitting president. Because Mueller's going to look at your average accumulated income over the years that's related to the fraudulent money laundering crimes that he's likely going to be charging you with, and he'll determine whether you should be prosecuted fully or partially under the different crimes. Karma usually does work it all out in the wash, or should I say the dirty money laundry, so to speak. Seeking to help the defrauding college at the expense of the students that they defrauded? Are you kidding me, Donald? I mean, even Dr. Evil from the Austin Powers movies, even Dr. Evil is saying, you have hell to pay, you know? All right, take a look at this story here out of the Washington Post. Tegan tweets about flight to nowhere. Headed from Los Angeles to Tokyo with her musician husband John Legend, model Chrissy Teigen tweeted, "A flying first for me. 4 hours into an 11-hour flight, and we are turning around because we have a passenger who isn't supposed to be on this plane. Why? Why do we all gotta go back? I do not know why." Well, Chrissy, you're not alone. Let me just say, you're not alone in how you feel. The entire country is actually going through the same frustrating experience right now. I mean, I can explain it to you. You're asking why. Let me explain it to you like this. Think of the 2016 presidential election as your long international flight to Tokyo. All of America is 4 hours into that 11-hour flight, but it's much worse because the passenger in our case, who doesn't belong on our plane, is actually trying to crash the plane. The good news is, thanks to veteran pilot and special prosecutor Bob Mueller, who's at the helm now, we're all going to be okay, but we are all having to circle back, all because of one idiot who doesn't belong in the White House. And to make our flight even worse than yours, Chrissy, the in-flight movie we're all having to watch on our way back is frickin' Idiocracy. Oh my God. And last but not least, take a look at this story here by Peter Baker and Maggie Haberman of the New York Times, entitled "Trump Insists He's a Very Stable Genius." You know, Donald, the one surefire way to demonstrate to the world you are not a stable genius is to personally insist that you are on Twitter. Trump is quoted in this article saying, "Actually, throughout my life, my two greatest assets have been mental stability and being, like, really smart." He goes on to say he is a very successful businessman and TV star, which proves how much of a genius he is. No, Donald, it's truly the opposite. It's shockingly like the movie Idiocracy that I just referred to. Come to life. It's far from anything for you to be proud of, Donald, that you have made the movie Idiocracy look like a freaking Nostradamus prophecy by Ethan Cohen, who co-wrote that movie script. Ethan Cohen himself was actually quoted in February of 2016, saying in an interview that he never expected to see his comedy script Idiocracy become a real-world documentary. So no, Donald, your reality show popularity followed by your getting elected, all that did was shine a huge spotlight on the mind-blowing number of racist, white, dumbass Walmart voters who saw you as their idiot leader-in-chief. Remember the expression, you guys remember the expression, better to be silent and thought a fool than to speak and remove all doubt? We need to update that apropos expression for the social media age that we're currently in. We need to update it to better to be silent and thought a douchebag, than to tweet, I'm a very stable genius, and remove all doubt. All right, we've got a great show. You don't want to miss it. Coming up on the program, I have a very funny young man who's going to be right here with me in the studio, local stand-up comedian Christian Amaral. So stick around. We'll be right back. Thanks for tuning into the program. I'm Connie Bryan, and you're watching The Connie Bryan Show. And I'm excited to have a very funny young man with me on the program tonight. This is Christian Amaral. Welcome to the show, Christian.
Hello, thank you, Connie. Thanks for having me.
Local stand-up comic.
Yes, I'm a local boy.
Local boy.
Stand-up comedian. I do improv.
And you've performed all over the state. So you performed at the Punchline in San Francisco, the Punchline in Sacramento.
Yep, all of the above punchlines.
Comedy Spot downtown.
Comedy Spot, Blacktop Comedy where I host the show.
And Blacktop Comedy where you host the open mic.
I think my favorite thing, I've never performed outside of California, but I think my favorite thing to do is when I get on stage is I refer to my audience as California. I'll be like, California, how's everyone doing?
Hey, California!
Just to make me sound a little more global.
Okay.
It's very fun.
All right, and so you host, as I understand it, you co-host the High Anxiety Variety Show, which is at the Comedy Spot. Tell me just briefly about that.
So that's a variety show. I co-host it with Cameron Betts and Corey Behringer, two local celebs from the band The Kelps, if that sounds familiar to anybody.
Okay.
And we put on a variety show, just like it sounds. We have stand-up comedy and music.
Not
on
just
the same stage. And we have interviews very similar to this. We're not as widespread as the Connie Bryan Show, of course. But it's cool. We get a really diverse following because we get music fans coming to a comedy show. We get comedy fans coming to a music show.
Yeah,
and everyone gets to shake hands at the end and say good game.
And the comics get people who are going to laugh at their material. And the comics are just
instead of just
any comedians
judge.
Watching right now, they know what I'm talking about. For those of you that aren't comics, comics are notorious if they're in the audience for not laughing. They just kind of go, yeah, Christian Amaral's that's pretty funny.
Yeah, except they don't use those words. They say he could get off the stage. He's running the line.
But yeah, having the musicians and the music-oriented folks who don't have that hang-up, the comics are going to like it. Is there going to be a normal audience?
Exactly, and it's a very cool mix. It's something we don't get a lot of in Sacramento.
Okay, and so that's the High Anxiety Variety Show.
Once a month.
And then you also do, you host the open mic at Blacktop Comedy.
Yes, I host the open mic. That is stand-up comedy. Every Sunday night.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Recently came and did it.
Yeah, that was so nice.
We're using a clip of that on the show actually here tonight.
Perfect. Yeah, you did very well.
Thank
and
you.
I will mention real quick. You said before the show we're not allowed to do. This is a public access show.
Not doing a call to action.
We can't do a call to action, so we can't tell anybody to come to Blacktop Comedy on Sundays at 7 o'clock.
Can't do it.
And in fact, I'd encourage you not to.
No,
I would say stay home.
Yeah, matter of fact, if you do stay home, make sure you're looking on public access.
Watch the Connie Bryan Show. Everyone needs to watch the Connie Bryan.
Right. So we're not.
So we're telling people don't come out to the open mic at all because we're not allowed to.
To do a call to action. But if you're an aspiring comedian out there and you'd like to try out some material, that's a perfect place.
It would be the perfect
Sunday
place.
nights. Not that we're telling you.
Do not come out. I'll send you home. But it is a great place to try it. Yeah.
So So you are homegrown here in Sacramento. A lot of people I don't understand these people out there that want to put down Sacramento. Sacramento is getting a bad rap from some kind of hipster types. I feel like they're trying to they want Sacramento to be what it doesn't need to be, like LA and that whole douchebag hipster, snob factor. We don't need that.
Is there anyone in LA watching your show right now?
With exception to Pasadena.
Oh yeah.
Pasadena, we're not talking about you, okay? That's not the crowd I'm talking about. I'm talking about more the,
because douchebag, those are the people that are like trying to be cool, right?
Yeah, Pasadena's already
cool.
Old school and very elegant like Sacramento, which is why I was so excited to pick them up.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so thanks for letting me clear that up, because I am being honest. I am being honest here. When I get down to LA, it's the other areas. I've always said that I would love, if I ever moved to LA, I'd want to live in Pasadena, somewhere like that, because it's more kind of like Sacramento. It's when you're in Pasadena, it's more laid back.
It's more farm to fork.
Yeah.
You can really taste the forks around.
But it's when I'm over in the area of kind of the central LA parts and stuff, more the Hollywoody kind of people that are all trying to be something they're not. And I gotta say, people make it hard enough for me just try to be who I am.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let alone trying to be something we're not, right?
I don't blame you.
It's so obvious when you folks, and y'all know who I'm talking about, behave that way. Trying to be something. But anyway, let's get back to you as a local boy.
Yeah, well, and I think that's what I like about Sacramento. I've grown up here, so like you said, I am a local boy. Lived with my parents for most of that time, so I'm finally out on my own.
Finally out of the parents' house. That's got to be exciting.
House. Yeah, into their backyard, which is it's huge.
You got a little pup tent or something. So you've lived with them for some time, and
yeah, I don't know if you've ever lived with my parents, but
I have. I've had the pleasure, but I'm sure it's wonderful.
They're nice people, but you can only be there so long. And it's cool now to be out on my own, and I don't have to do chores instead of rent anymore. Do you remember making that transition?
Oh, okay. So
in your life?
That's how you.
That's how I would justify my existence.
That's the arrangement you have.
I would do chores, and I think that was one of the best things about becoming an adult was the realization that I never have to do chores ever again.
So what happens? The garbage just keeps piling up.
So that's what people think. Everyone will come up to me. They'll be like, "Oh, Christian, you still have to do chores. You can live on your own. You still got to do chores." And to them, I say, "Speak up. First of all, you're mumbling. I can't understand a word you're saying when you talk like that." And also, it's just not true. If you're an adult, it's not that you don't do anything. It's not that you don't clean up after yourself. It's just there's ways to make it more efficient, I guess.
Okay, give me an example.
So, for example, dishes, right?
Yeah.
No one likes to do the dishes. I don't do dishes. Paper plates and solo cups.
Okay, well,
no more dishes.
I gotta hand it to you there.
Didn't say it was cheap. It's just you gotta choose your priorities. If you're still doing laundry as an adult, I think there's an easier way to do that. You just take your clothes. If you have a washer dryer in your,
you don't do laundry.
I don't do laundry because you don't have to. You take your clothes to the washing machine, right? You go past the washing machine, out the door to your car.
Keep going.
Drive to Goodwill. You get new clothes. You're an adult now. You're making decisions.
When the clothes need to be washed, you go and buy new clothes.
I donate
That's an expensive way of life.
I'm severely in debt, Connie.
So you need to make it to the big time soon.
I really got to be successful.
Make that sustainable.
Mostly, and the biggest thing, I don't vacuum anymore. I don't clean up at all. I just move every 6 months. And I'm buying houses left and right. I cannot afford this.
You look a little thin. So are you eating? I mean, you're not doing chores. Are you at least cooking for yourself?
I appreciate your concern. So that is one thing.
You need me to come over and cook you a meal? I mean,
I might take you up on that actually, because my most recent meal was a Costco sample.
Costco.
That's how I'm feeding myself primarily. I would say.
So you can afford the membership at least.
I can afford the $60 a year. Breaks down to $5 a month. I just think it's a good deal. $60 a year. I had $60 worth of Italian meatballs today. I think it's just a cost-benefit analysis that people need to make.
Yeah.
I think my favorite thing I will say about Costco samples, just Costco in general, is watching people go up to the sample booth,
right,
and pretend they've never had chips and salsa before. It's very
put on an act.
Trepidatious. They put on an act, exactly. It's like they're talking to a salesman.
Like they're trying to win an Oscar.
Like they're trying to win an Oscar. They'll go, is that chips and salsa? Honey, they have corn tortillas here. That is so good. What? I have 16, $6.99 for a lifetime supply?
Yeah.
It'll expire the day after I open it. I gotta talk to the husband about this.
Right, and they're pulling out a 5 to say, you work for tips, right?
Yeah, exactly. That would be my dream job, I think, is because this is my plan B. Most people don't know, being being a
This is
stand-up
plan B for you. What was plan A?
Well, plan A was being homeless.
Because then you wouldn't have to pay rent,
Because
right?
then you definitely don't have to
No
pay
chores, no rent. We only have about a little less than 2 minutes. Let's talk. You had said off camera that we were talking about LA. You said you thought in one aspect Sacramento was becoming a lot like LA in one aspect.
The
being
driving.
traffic. Yeah, I agree.
It's terrible. I
It's
had
crazy.
a guy on my way to this very show. I had a guy do that thing where he's driving next to you, he cuts you off and slams on his brakes, right? So you get super close to his bumper. I got so close I could see all of the let's call them the billboards to his terrible opinions.
Right. He wants you to read them all.
Exactly. He had one in particular that said pro-life, very aggressive.
Yeah.
Which I thought
One
was
of those
interesting.
kind.
One of those guys. And it's a free country, right?
Yeah.
I think everyone's entitled to their opinion. I just thought it was ironic that this guy was such a champion of life.
And he just...
While he's trying to kill it.
Just tried to kill you.
Yeah.
And I just want to add to that, can you imagine, it's bad enough with how these people drive like you're describing, let alone they're talking about bringing self-driving cars into the mix. I mean...
Ridiculous.
That's first of all, that's communism, all right? This is America. I think
That's
it's...
the definition of communism is Tesla's autopilot.
And also, I mean, isn't it in the Declaration of Independence, we're guaranteed the pursuit of life, liberty, and driving. And I mean...
And the guy that just cut you, pursuit of the guy that just cut you off.
I mean, and if it was a self-driving car that guy was in, who are you going to give the middle finger to? Because he's not driving; it's his server, right? It's Google or whatever.
That's a great point.
I really think that if they do have self-driving cars, they're going to have to require people to put their emails as a bumper sticker.
Yeah, just a quick email. Just type up a quick little memo. Say, hey, what do you think?
I can have something to go to call him names, and express my...
Excuse me, idiot. I'd appreciate if you reevaluate your driving.
Exactly. Take that bumper sticker off your car because you're not pro-life. You just tried to kill...
Yeah, exactly.
Christian Amaral, everybody. Great job.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being on the show. And catch him at the Blacktop. Well, we can't say to catch him. We can't do a call to action.
Please don't come out. You're not allowed. Sundays at 7.
Yes.
Don't be there.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
I really feel like I belong on this stage tonight, you guys. I really do. And I'm not getting pretentious on you. It's not because I'm good at stand-up, and it's not because I perform a lot. There's a lot of white people in the crowd. This feels like church, and I feel like I look like a gay youth pastor or a regular youth pastor. I haven't always been cool. There was a time in my life where I lived with my parents. It was like the time after you graduate high school and you're like starting to become an adult, but you're not quite there yet, and you still have to like do chores to like instead of rent. Does that ring a bell? Everybody? And I found myself complaining a lot. Like I don't know if it's like a generational thing or if maybe it was just I'm just an ungrateful piece of shit. I'd find myself, cleaning out the litter box, because you have to, right? That's like something you have to do. I just wish my parents would shit in the toilet like everybody else. Maybe it's a generational thing. I'm kidding, you guys. It's a comedy show.